gonna show you a beautiful sounding voicing for an E major chord. For me, basic triads and tetrads sound somewhat boring, and they only do the magic in context with other chords. If a single chord is supposed to sound open, wide, rich and emotional, it has to be spiced up. And besides using open strings, integrating dissonant intervals like minor and major seconds do the trick. This marvelous E at 11 voicing chord integrates open strings and a minor second between the fourth and the third. Isolated it bites, but in context it sounds like fresh air on a sunny day. Hey there, I have a beautiful sounding guitar voicing for an E minor chord for you. And if you liked the E major voicing of my former video, maybe you like this one too. Let me add, the word beautiful refers only to my personal taste. You are invited to disagree. Here's the voicing. It's an E minor 9th voicing, and actually you take the same fingering as in my former voicing, the E at 11, and just move it 2 frets down, and you get an equally beautiful sounding voicing in minor that still integrates open strings and a minor second between the second and the minor third. Hello, from my library of favorite voicings, I got another one for you in the key of E minor, this one. It sounds very rich. It integrates 6 notes of all them 7 of the E Aeolian or E Dorian scale. The only interval that's missing, that's the 6th, and therefore it works equally in Aeolian or Dorian mode. And the real magic begins if you also change the roots. Hey there, this time I'd like to show you another one of my favorite voicings I use a lot, this time in the key of C sharp minor, this one. It incorporates also those 2 ingredients I consider to be ingredients of excitement, open strings and the dissonance of a minor second. The open B and E string for openness, and the fluttering of the dissonant minor second between the high E string and the D sharp on the G string for excitement. And it sounds awesome if you also change the roots. Hey there, Richie KOTZEN. There's one lick idea he uses in most of his solos, and I'm not gonna show you a precise lick, but the essential idea. You see, it's a very fast skip between 2 strings, and he used hybrid picking for it years back, but now he's playing without the plectrum, so he's playing it like this. And when you change notes and positions, you can create very long runs. And what is pretty awesome about that idea is that it creates a similar effect like with tapping. Look. Hello! A dominant 7 chord is a tetrad and its main character lies in its major third and its minor 7th. The major third is a leading note to the tonic chord of the key, and the minor 7th is a leading note to the major third of the tonic chord, if it's in major. I'm now gonna play a dominant blues in G, and I will only play the thirds and the 7th of the chords, and you will see it still works. Doesn't sound spectacular, but it works. Hello! I guess every guitar player once or all the time struggles when soloing, feeling like being caught in a position. I got a great exercise for you that can help you out with that. The original idea is playing a 3-note motive horizontally and diatonically up. Just like that. What you can do now is skipping the 3rd note and playing the 4th instead, and try to reach it with your pinky. This way you crawl out of your position. Descending also. Hey there, I'm gonna show you one of my favorite riffs. It's a country rock blues riff and it's played with plectrum and fingers. This riff is also a good startup to get into hybrid picking, and it can open doors to a great world of new possibilities. Hello, if you like to learn tapping, I find this a good lick to start with. For the left hand I'm visualizing the A minor pentatonic shape, and with the right hand I only tap the 12th position, and on the high E string the lick goes like this. Tap, pull, hammer, tap, pull, pull, tap, pull, hammer, tap, pull, pull. That's all. And once you learn to move this lick across strings, you can go everywhere from there. On 2 strings I'm gonna take the 3rd note to change to the next string with my pinky. And back the same. Back and forth. String skipping. Across all strings. Hello! Very often I see beginners when they're learning the first power chords fretting them like this. This can never be a power chord, listen. You can't avoid the self-resonance of them other strings. To a power chord belong also the notes that you do not want to hear. So when you're fretting, you have to take care to damp them strings you do not want to hear. So a good fretting is fretting it as flat as you can. This way you have different possibilities. You can damp it with the index finger or with the pinky, or here the upper strings with fingers you do not use. Find your way. Hello! I want to show you some broad and fat sounding power chords. One of them I call the AC/DC power chord because it appears in a lot of their songs. I'm talking about this G power chord here. It's actually related to a standard campfire G major chord. And by damping the A string, I get rid of the major third, and what stays is a G power chord. The same we can do with a D major, fretting it like this. We can even put the A in the bass, sounds awesome. And an A power chord, we can fret like this. And an E power chord, like this. I'm damping the G string with my index finger. That's the damping of the third. Hello! If you want to play a fat sounding power chord riff, for example in the key of C, it can be somewhat unsatisfying. You maybe find this not fat enough, not dark enough, and that's because this C is the lowest C we have. You can of course tune your guitar down, but you can also consider to use chord inversions. An inversion of a power chord means you're putting the fifth underneath the root. This is the fifth, and I put it now underneath, and the fifth in the bass sounds really fat and dark. Hello, in a former short video I showed you this tapping lick, consisting of 6 notes. There's an issue with licks that are dividable by 3. We tend to play them like triplets, like this. Sakata-taka-da-taka-da-da. Nothing wrong with that. But it's a great exercise to play or practice them also as 16th notes. That way we put them completely differently into the beat. Sakatiki-daga-daga-daga-daga-da. Hello! One way of learning to improvise is by learning scale shapes. They help to visualize all the notes that belong to a key. The tapping technique most of the times comes with licks. We learn them licks and try to integrate them somehow into our playing. I find it a very good idea to adapt the technique to our regular learning scale shapes. Speaking about 3 notes per string scale shapes. Doesn't matter which ones. Choose one, and the concept is the third note is a tapped one. This way you put yourself into the position to improvise with that technique. Hey there, having having seen Jennifer Batten and TJ Hemerick tapping with all 4 fingers, really absolutely impossible for me. But what I found out is adding a second finger, my 3rd finger for tapping, is not so difficult. For example, try to play a lick like this here. 3 notes in the left hand and 2 tapped and backwards pulled. And try to get it rolling. And if you get that managed, you broaden your range when tapping. And when you're like me, also into hybrid picking, you use this finger anyway, so it's even easier to learn. Hey there! My guitar is tuned to drop D. If you don't know what a drop D tuning is, it's simply tuning the low E string down to D, a whole tone, and leave the rest of the strings in standard E tuning. A good tuning method is using harmonics. The open harmonic in the 5th position on the low E string must be equal to the open harmonic in the 12th position on the D string. On the way down then, listen to that interference, that fluttering. When it stops, your E string is perfectly tuned to D. Hello, I'm using a special drop B tuning. It's like a drop D tuning, but instead of tuning the low E string down to D, you tune it down to B. A good way to do this is playing the open harmonic in the 5th position on the low E string together with the open B string, and on the way down, listen to the interference, that fluttering, and when it stops, the low E string is now perfectly tuned to B.